Golden Boy and Canelo Álvarez were still trying to make the Kovalev fight. Wow. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Now, this is crazy. You know, Canelo already backed off of the quote-unquote Mexican date for September 14th. I made a video about that. And they announced Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde. So I didn't think anything else of it. I thought, you know, we're going to get Kovalev, Anthony Yarde. And according to a person who works for DAZN, a reporter, Chris Mannix, they were still trying to make Canelo Álvarez versus Kovalev for next. And you know, I guess pay Anthony Yarde step aside money. And this is the tweet from reporter Chris Mannix, who works with Sports Illustrated as well as DAZN. It says negotiations between Canelo Álvarez and Sergey Kovalev are at a standstill, multiple sources tell Sports Illustrated. Kovalev is expected to move ahead with his title defense against Anthony Yarde on August 24th. Main Events has informed Golden Boy Promotions that there is not enough time to resolve the lingering issues needed to make Canelo versus Kovalev. It's possible something could be revisited if Kovalev wins on August 24th, but for now, the deal is dead. Golden Boy has told reps that Sergey Derevyanchenko, his reps, that they have DAZN's approval to make Canelo versus Derevyanchenko fight in October. Per sources, Golden Boy Promotions is pushing to extend the IBF deadline on the belt to early next week. What a mess. Now, to be honest, I thought the Kovalev fight was already dead in the water and he was fighting Anthony Yarde. But, you know, Golden Boy, I guess, was doing one last ditch attempt to try to make Canelo versus Kovalev. Listen, I'm happy. I'm so happy that Kovalev and Canelo's not happening next. For one, as a true fan of boxing, I think the weight classes need to be respected. You know, Canelo has business at 160. He got Charlo there. You know, he has Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, and he also has Golovkin. Even though I'm not really hyped off the Golovkin fight like that, you know, it's still a reasonable name out there. You know, he has Sergey Derevyanchenko, who's his mandatory, right? Also, you look one division up, 168. There's plenty stars. Caleb Plant just got a stoppage on the Pacquiao-Thurman card. He looked like sweet hands. He looked, you know, real good in there. You have David Benavidez, who's trying for his belt again against Anthony Durrell. You got Jose Uzcategui. You got Caleb Smith from the UK, who brings a whole different crowd. Why would I want to see Canelo, you know, bypass all of that action at 160, 168, where he's a champion, in order to fight Kovalev at 175? And out of all the 175 pounders, yeah, of course, Kovalev still, he has experience, but he's also showed the most vulnerabilities. He's 3 for 3 in his last 6 fights. So I don't understand why DAZN, well, I do feel I understand, but I think for DAZN, they just want a big fight. They want a fight to get him out of the red. And they're banking on Canelo heavily to provide that, to provide those numbers. For Canelo, I think he likes the vulnerabilities that Kovalev has showed him and his team. So they would rather, instead of putting him in there with Jermall Charlo, instead of putting him in there with a guy like Demetrius Andrade, who undefeated guys, slicker guys, but can mix it up, can brawl, taller than Canelo, have power. You know, they would rather face a bigger Kovalev because they know how Kovalev fights. Kovalev is not the greatest inside fighter. If you stay in his chest, that gives him issues. Andre Ward already showed you these things. So if I'm able to see it, I'm pretty sure Canelo as a fighter and his trainers are able to see that Canelo seems pretty weak to the body. You know, Canelo is a great volume puncher when he lets his hands go. A great combination puncher, I guess, is a better way to put it. And Kovalev is weak to the body, kind of like Keith Thurman. So I'm glad the fight's dead in the water. I'd rather see Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde. Now, Anthony Yarde, he's the fresher of the fighter. Now, I don't know who I'm picking in the Kovalev-Yarde fight. I think it's a really good fight, and that's what I'm happy to see. It's a mandatory situation for Kovalev, and we're going to see how much Kovalev has left, because that's a really good fight. But I will say this: if Anthony Yarde does win, and he proves in his step up that he's ready for the elite level, then I want to see if Canelo wants to fight Anthony Yarde, because to me it seems like Canelo is more hesitant to fight certain styles, especially slicker black fighters who are big, who have some power, some rhythm, because I think ultimately his style is closer to that. And I think that's more so his kryptonite. If you come straight to him and you're in his wheelhouse, he does very well against that style, like Triple G's and guys that don't have much of a defense, no head movement, come straight forward, but if you can mix it up a little bit, you have rhythm and athleticism and more of a quote unquote American style, which even though Anthony Yarde's from the UK, I think his stylistically, if you look at the pad work and stuff, lines in the camp, you look at how he fights, I think stylistically he fights closer to that than, other guys like Kovalev, who has more of an Eastern European style, less hooks, no uppercuts, and straighter shots. So I didn't even know they were still trying to make that Kovalev-Canelo fight. But either way, it looks like Canelo's probably going to fight Derevyanchenko. It just seems a mess. It seems like they're not on the same page. First of all, we were hearing the thoughts and rumors that Canelo could only fight Triple G or Kovalev. Then Kovalev, his team said they're down to fight, but there's not enough time now. And now Canelo still don't want to fight Triple G. And now DAZN's going to approve Derevyanchenko. It seems like they're just winging it. Like they don't have like a really solid game plan. And like I've been saying, new media, I think this is a changing of the guard. Even though Canelo's a big star, we're starting to see his star power is maybe not what it once was or what is expected, because they're having such a hard time. When did you ever see Floyd Mayweather and they had such a hard time making an event for him, And I think that's a couple different reasons. I think Mayweather's a better showman, so he knows how to build up the fight. He can fight somebody like a Robert Guerrero and still make it fun. Like when he met up with Robert Guerrero at that Showtime commercial, and he was like, "You easy work, motherfucker. All right, okay, motherfucker." And he started verbally attacking Robert Guerrero. I'll get as close as one. You ain't gonna do shit. Canelo don't really do stuff. So they got to pick and choose opponents that are appealing on paper as well, because Canelo's not much on hype and like building up a fight, and he doesn't really have that showmanship characteristic. So very interesting, especially if Kovalev loses to Anthony Yarde. I'm definitely trying to see if they really want to make a statement, then fight the winner of Kovalev Yarde. If Kovalev wins, then make it, but if Anthony Yarde wins and like let's say he knocks out Kovalev, I can't wait to see if Golden Boy tries to make Anthony Yarde versus Canelo, and that's going to prove that they were trying to cherry pick him. Yes, it's an advanced cherry pick, even though he's dangerous because it's a higher weight division. He also has enough vulnerability shown in his past fights, and he's been stopped twice, to the point where I can see you taking that gamble as opposed to Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade or Caleb Smith. Guys who look super fresh, David Benavidez. So, it looks like the walls are closing in on Canelo and his decision making, and really DAZN. They need big fights, and it looks like, they're not able to get on the same page as Team Canelo what they want. Let me know what you guys think, but I guess officially Canelo Kovalev is dead in the water until after August 24th, which is what I prefer, because I would rather see Kovalev fight at actual light heavyweight and Canelo fight somebody in one of the divisions where he's the champ, as opposed to bypass everybody relevant from 160 to 168 with this newfound franchise champion and all this, and go directly to Kovalev. Kovalev, in his last fight with Eleider Álvarez, it was a very telling fight, and it was a do or die fight. A lot of people, including myself, believed that for Kovalev, it was a fight where it was a must-win situation. So why would I want to see Kovalev go from, a do-or-die crossroads fight to immediately fighting Canelo? He just beat Eleider Álvarez. He looked good with Buddy McGirt. and let's see how he does against a young, hungry lion like Anthony Yarde, who hasn't really proved the elite level in terms of resume names, but so far he's looking like, you know, a tough fighter, and, you know, it could be a good fight. So I want to see if Canelo fights the winner. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.